Welcome to our lava lamp activity for discovering the scientist within. We're so excited that you can join us today. Before we get into the activity, we will be hearing from an Oregon State College of Science student who is going to tell us a little bit about some women in STEM that have to do with chemistry and neuroscience. And with that, I will hand it over to Sonia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Emily. So as she stated, my name is Sonia, and I'm currently a rising third-year student at Oregon State University. I'm majoring in biohealth sciences with a minor in chemistry. So I'm very, very excited to get to talk about these two incredible, notable women in STEM with you today. So with your lava lamp activity, there are kind of two components that go with lava lamps, which I'm sure the presenters will talk about as well. There's the chemistry aspect of how the lava lamps actually work, and there's also the neuroscience aspect. So to highlight a notable woman in chemistry, we have Ruth Erica Benesch here. I apologize if I am mispronouncing her last name. She's Polish, and I unfortunately don't know Polish, but so Ruth Erica was born in Poland in 1919, and she immigrated to England shortly after. She's a famous female chemist who is known for her work at Columbia University. And she used chemistry to figure out how hemoglobin is responsible for the release and transportation of oxygen around the body. And this is definitely something that is crucial to understanding about the human body, human anatomy and physiology, and so many other things wouldn't have been possible without her work. So to go more into the neuroscience aspect and how lighting can affect our mood as the lava lamps affect mood. So Sarah Patterson here is a graduate student in neuroscience at the University of Washington. She's the lead author on a study that identified a cell in our eyes that does things like regulate our internal clocks, make us more alert, help our memory, and elevate our mood. And she shows that types of lighting can play an important part in affecting our sleep, moods, and learning, which is super cool. So I hope you keep these two notable women in STEM in mind as you continue on into your lava lamps activity. Hope you have fun.
So hello, welcome back everyone to our June 2021 virtual Discovering the Scientist Within event. My name is Grace. I study history, French, and German. I have Mackenzie here with me. If Mackenzie, you want to give a quick little introduction.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Mackenzie. I'm a first-year PhD student in chemistry at OSU.
Awesome. Thank you all for joining us today, both virtually and also synchronously. So I will pass it off to our presenter, Skip Rochefort, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, to get us started on our activity today.
Okay, great. Thanks, Grace. So I have actually a few of my students here with me today to help with this too. So I'd like to have them introduce themselves. So go ahead, Kayla, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I'm just finished my second year and I'm studying chemical engineering.
Maddie?
Hi, I'm Madeline. I'm a first-year student studying chemical engineering.
Hi, I'm Nisa. I'm a first-year student studying bioengineering.
Okay, and so all three, Maddie, Kayla, and Nisa all work in my lab, and they're going to be working this summer. And so I asked them if they wanted to hang out with you guys today, and they said, sure, I have nothing else to do, so why not? Plus, they all want to make lava lamps, so that's the big draw here. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Skip Rochefort, and I have been at OSU for 28 years now. And I have done a lot of outreach in my day. I have a few outreach camps. In fact, I teach a middle school engineering camp that we're going to have in another week or so. And I've been doing outreach for almost the whole time I'm here. But my real job is as a faculty member in the School of Chemical, Biological, and Environmental Engineering. And as part of that, I teach a lot of classes, but we also do research. And as I said, Maddie, Nisa, and Kayla all have worked in my research lab for different amounts of time. Maddie and Kayla right now, this summer actually, and have in the past been working on a project to take waste plastics. So you probably know we have a lot of plastic waste in the world that we just don't know what to do with. In our group, we built a reactor and we take that waste plastic and we essentially burn it or melt it down to turn it into diesel fuel. So we built a reactor, we put the plastic in there, we heat it up to 500 or 600 degrees C, and then when the gases come off, we condense those, and out comes this beautiful looking fuel that you could use in your car, a diesel car, or a tractor, or a boat, or something like that. And our project, the one that Maddie and Kayla are working on, is geared towards building reactors and delivering them to communities that have problems, that are in low income areas or underserved communities around the world. So that's kind of what we're doing. So we've got a sort of humanitarian aspect to the work also. Nisa spent her time in the last few months working on a material, a menstrual hygiene pad, which is compostable. And we have a collaboration with a group in Botswana, a small village in Botswana, and we're going to deliver some feminine hygiene pads to that village. There's some big cultural issues around that kind of stuff in those countries, and so we're hoping that giving them a compostable feminine hygiene pad will help the girls that are transitioning in that environment. So that's just a couple of the projects that we work on. But I study fluids, okay, and so well before any of you were born, well before any of you were born, I was staring at lava lamps when I was in school in the late 60s and early 70s, okay? And there were a phenomenon then, and they still are. I've bought a few, I have a couple in my house. There's a lot of reasons to have them, but one of the cool things about it, or the hot things maybe, is that they're really a lot of fluid mechanics in there. So we're going to do both chemistry and fluid mechanics today. All right. So I was trying to figure out what the best way is to introduce these to you. Does anybody know what a lava lamp is? Actually, has anybody ever seen a lava lamp? I guess that's the first thing to ask. Yeah. So if you've seen a lava lamp, I think you can put a little thing up that says a little hand or a clap or something like that. Just want to see how many people have seen them. Emma has. Astrid, Maddie. Okay. All right. Almost everybody's seen them. Okay. I don't know if any of you actually know how they work. Okay. And so I was gonna go and show you how a real lava lamp works, and then we're gonna make an inexpensive lava lamp that you can play with at home. So let's see. I think maybe what let's make the lamp first, okay, and let's make our version first, and then if we have some time, I'll show you a cool video that I found a little while ago that'll tell you how the real ones are made, right? So the real ones are made with basically oil and two fluids. One is water-based and one is oil-based. So that's what we're going to do too. So I think Grace and Mackenzie, you have kits, right? My students actually don't have kits. Okay, so and hopefully all of you have kits. So here's what I'm going to do. If you can and want to put your videos on, that really helps a little bit to see where you are in the process of doing stuff. If you don't want to, that's fine too. I don't mind looking at chickens, not chicks, but chickens. Well, they are chicks. Never mind. Okay, so and that'll just help us. And if you don't have your video on, that's good. Just let us know, if you're keeping up with the process or whatever, however you want to communicate with me. Okay. All right. So let's take your bags. So I'm going to rely on the mentors here to tell me what they have in their bags. So Mackenzie, you have your bag. Okay. So she has a container. So everybody get their bags and open them up. Okay. You got a container. All right. Put that down. I had one too, actually. Here's one. Okay, I have food coloring, okay, which is overpackaged and has too much plastic on it, just so you know, okay. And then what else do I have? Did I have anything else? What else do you have? Oh, oil and, yeah, Alka-Seltzer. What did I do with mine? Okay, there's oil and Alka-Seltzer around here somewhere. Okay, good. So, yep, everybody's got that. Okay, and oh, you do have a syringe to a little, excellent. Okay, I asked Emily to put that in there. Okay, good. So I want to talk a little bit about, do you have another little container, like even a cup or something like that around? Yeah, okay, good. So take a cup and put some water in it, okay, from wherever you can get water, and then come back. Not that much, you know, maybe half full. Okay. So when you come back with your cup of water, take that pipette that you have. So that's the little plastic thing, and open up your jar of oil. One of your disposable cups, if you have one. If not, anything that holds water would work. That's right. Thanks, Grace. Did you open it up? Okay, don't spill it. Did they give you some newspaper to put down by any chance? No? Okay. Well, just make sure you're on a surface that it's okay if you get a little bit of stuff on it, okay? Or put some paper down if you have some. Probably a good idea. If you have some paper, put it down so your parents don't get mad at me. All right. Anything, newspaper, paper, whatever. Or not, doesn't matter. Okay, so what I wanted you to do is use your pipette, that plastic thing, and then just stick it in there and suck up, you know, fill the pipette with oil. Yeah, usually about 3 mils or so. And then before you leak it all over the place, before you take it out of the jar, then just bring it over and put that into your cup of water. Yeah, bring your cup of water close. This is where you're going to spill stuff on the counter. Okay.
If any of our students have never used a pipette before, just drop a little SOS in the chat and one of us can help you.
Yeah, it's basically pretty simple. Squeeze and stick it in the liquid and then suck it up. There you go. Squeeze. That's it, Grace. Now stick it in. Okay, you were dropping it off. Okay. Everybody got that? Okay. Okay, we're good. Well, we know Mackenzie can do it. That's why she's in graduate school. So tell me what you see. What do you see now?
The oil is all on the top.
The oil is all on the top. That's right. Okay. And so what does that tell you? It's less dense, right? In other words, I don't like to use word lighter because that's not really the right word, but less dense means that if they have the same amount of the materials, one of them will float and the other will sink. Okay, so the one that's less dense will float. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but about 5 years ago or so, maybe 6, I can't remember, there was a big oil, you heard about oil spills, right? You hear about oil spills, right? And there was a big oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Does anybody remember that? That's what happens there, right? All of that oil floated up from the bottom of the sea. You know, the oil well was drilled at the bottom of the ocean, which is 5,000 feet from the surface. And when it blew up on the bottom, it all floated to the top, and you could see this giant oil slick moving into the Gulf region, going towards shore. And eventually, it hit the shore and did a lot of damage, contaminating it. So, on my field, chemical engineers and environmental engineers, we did a lot of work on cleanup and are still doing work on cleanup of things like oil spills. Okay, but anyway, so that's how you know that oil floats on top of water. Okay, so now we've established a very important thing, which is that the oil will float on top of the water. Okay, now that's because they're a different density. And if we have time to look at a lava lamp, what we'll see when we look at a lava lamp is that even though it's not the same two materials that we're using, it's the same principle, that the density is what drives the motion of the bubbles, okay, through there. Okay, now what I want you to do is take that pipette, put another shot of oil into your cup. So suck it up, put some more oil in there. And yeah, that's a good idea, Mackenzie. Cover up the oil so you don't spill it all over the place. And then what I want you to do is, you should see that it is still floating on top, right? So that shows you that it's not the amount of material in there, but it's actually the densities that are driving it. Now I want you to do something else. What I want you to do is take that pipette and stir up that mixture. Stir it all up. Mix it up really well. Break up all the oil. And what you should see is a bunch of little droplets, right? Is that what you're seeing? I don't know. I didn't do this. So okay, and is that what you're seeing there, Grace or Mackenzie? You see it breaks up? Okay. Now stop stirring it and then just watch it, let it sit for a second. And hopefully they'll all rise up and come back and form a slick on the top. Is that right? Is that what's happening? Yeah, okay, good. I hadn't done that. I'm just flying a little bit here. Okay, so here's the other thing. Right? What did you learn from doing that? You break up the oil, forms a whole bunch of little droplets, right? That's called an emulsion, actually. And so an emulsion is a bunch of little droplets. And you've seen this if you go to the store and buy vinaigrette salad dressing, okay, that's oil and water with some herbs in it, and you shake it up, you'll see it get all mixed up and you'll see a bunch of little globules of oil. And then eventually they all separate out. Has anybody ever seen vinaigrette salad dressing? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, okay. So that's what happens is those droplets break up and then they coalesce, they come back together and form that film again. So that's what one of the problems with the oil slick is, that they could break it up, but when they broke it up, they would all coalesce again and come back together and have this giant oil slick on the surface. So, okay, so now we've seen a couple of properties of oil and water, and that are very important for what we're going to do. We know that oil is less dense than water, so it will float, okay? And I'm a real chunky guy, so when I go in the pool, I don't have to worry about floating. Some people are very dense and they sink. Not me, I just float all over the place, right? So fat in general, okay, will help you to float. And so oils are fats, and so that's why they float, okay? So, and you know, I'm more like a whale. Anyway, so what we're going to do then is we're going to use this principle of the fact that the oil will sit on top of the water to make our lava lamp. And the other next thing we need to do is to be able to have a way to generate this motion in the lava lamp, okay? And so we're going to do that by creating bubbles, okay? And those bubbles will be made with CO2. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use Alka-Seltzer, and Alka-Seltzer will allow you, yep, that's it right there, yeah. It is Alka-Seltzer, right? Yeah, or maybe the generic form of Alka-Seltzer. What is it called? Yeah, it's called Alka-Seltzer. Okay, you got the good stuff. All right. Okay, so let's get to it. I think I'm gonna share my screen if one of these guys will let me. Oh, maybe I can. Looks like I can share it. Okay. And I want to just show you a quick video of what we're doing so you get the idea. Okay. All right, floating meeting controls. Let's get rid of this. Oh, hold on. I want, which one do I want? This one. Okay. So this is just a little 2-minute video that's going to lead us through what are we actually going to do when we're doing it. Okay. So I think this will be useful for you. So let's just watch this. So that's what we're going to end up doing. Now they're doing it a slightly different way. They're going to take vinegar and baking soda, and you know that also produces carbon dioxide. So let's see how they do it. So I want to stop it here because even though they're generating bubbles, the way we're going to do it is a little bit different, right? They have on the bottom here, they have baking soda, and then they're adding in some vinegar. And so that's going to produce carbon dioxide. We're going to do it with our Alka-Seltzer, so we're going to do it slightly differently. But this, I wanted to show you this because if you want to do this again at home, you'll have all the stuff you need, easy to find at home. All right, so now we got the idea, right? Except we're going to do a little bit differently. So there's different ways to do chemistry, and ours is going to be a little different. So first we're going to do is take, excuse me, this guy here, take this little guy here, open it up, and I would say fill it up to, oh, I don't know, like the 12 ounces. Fill it up to 12 ounces in here, okay?
With oil or water, Skip?
Oh, sorry, yeah, with oil, sorry. Thank you, Maddie. Okay. Try not to make a mess. Okay, now you have cups, right? So take the cup, I think you had 2 cups. Take the cup that you didn't use before and put about, I don't know, maybe a few ounces of water in there. You can't go over the top, right? So if you did 12, you can't put any more than like 2 or 3 in there. Now here's what we're going to do once we get our water, is you have food coloring. Okay, so you can try to unpackage this thing. That'll take about 5 minutes, all right? And then pick out some food coloring and then dye your water whichever color you like. It just cannot be green. Orange is better. If you mix yellow and I guess you mix yellow and red, you can get some nice orange. See, like, try to make it this color. Orange lava lamps are really nice. All right, so everybody got that? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pour the water into the oil. And what do you think is going to happen? Anybody have any idea what's going to happen?
It's gonna bubble everywhere.
It's going to bubble? Okay, do it. Let's see. What happened? Ah, Grace, hold it up a little higher. I can't see it. Oh, that's great. Look at Grace. I think Grace has orange. Okay. All right. Now, Astrid, I didn't tell you to turn it over. Okay. Everybody got their covers on? Make sure your cover is on, okay? And then do as Astrid just did, which is to turn it upside down. Okay, and then turn it back up and then just let it sit for a second or more. And what happens? So you see how, Grace, go ahead, do that. Grace, do that again. So watch Grace's when she turns it over. Go ahead, turn it over. See how there's a whole bunch of little droplets, right? Look at those, all those droplets, right? And then what do? What's the word I just taught you? They coalesce, right? They coalesce back into the liquid on the bottom. Don't they, Grace? Yeah, okay. Everybody see that? Okay, now comes the lava lamp part of this, right? So Vera said that it was going to bubble, but it doesn't bubble because we didn't add the material that makes the CO2. So now the rest of you are going to put your Alka-Seltzer in. What I would do is I'd break those tablets up small because you want to increase the surface area as much as you can. Okay, so break them up as small as you can. And what you should have is something like Vera's got going on there eventually. Now you can either just take the little top thing off and add them in this way. That's a safe way to do it. Okay. That's probably the preferred way to do it. All right. Okay. And then just break up the pieces and put it in there. How many Alka-Seltzer things did you get? How many containers of Alka-Seltzer? 2? 4. All right. I would say that you should break up at least 2 tablets and put them in there.
Okay.
Is everybody's working? Let me hold it up higher, Angie. I can't see. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, yours is going nicely. Okay. Oh, did you put 2 in or 1, Grace?
I had 2 tablets and I decided to go crazy and add a third.
Whoa, okay.
Might be a lot.
So what that does, so there's a couple of ways to do it. You can go for the full-blown quick experience like Grace. She's obviously a thrill seeker, or you can go for a slower, more meditative style, which is you add less of the Alka-Seltzer in there, and then you can just kind of chill out and relax to it. Okay. Now the nice thing about this is you have this lamp made now, right? Okay, this lava lamp, and you can, if you can just get some more Alka-Seltzer, you can basically run this thing anytime you want to relax. You just put some Alka-Seltzer in, and then you watch the bubbles go. See, look like Vera's doing there. See how relaxing that is? I'm gonna go to sleep now.
It's so satisfying.
It is satisfying. Grace what's yours doing, Grace? Is it still working?
Yes, it's still working here.
Okay, yeah. Let me see.
Got a little bit of action on the backside. It's slowing down though.
Yeah. So that it worked pretty well, actually. That's Vera's got a good one going there. Grace, let me see yours with the orange. But I want to see the orange one going. Is it going? You got to put some more stuff in. Put some more stuff so we can see the orange going around. I like your coloring. Okay, so if you run out of Alka-Seltzer, let's see. There we go. Oh yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. How do you feel, Grace? Are you relaxed watching that? You look kind of relaxed.
It's so relaxing.
Now, so there's actually a lot of science that goes on here, right? But the other thing is, remember the way the other people made it. Okay, maybe this is why Grace was a little bit confused. Is that they added the powder first, but in their case, they used baking soda and vinegar. And most of you, if you're in middle school, eventually you will make little volcanoes. Okay, everybody makes volcanoes in middle school, and for earth science. And the way you usually make volcanoes is you take baking soda and vinegar and you put it together, right? So instead of using water, you use baking soda, you use vinegar. Vinegar is about 95% water. So essentially the density of the vinegar is still greater, still more dense than the oil, so the oil will float. And so you get the same kind of effect by using baking soda and vinegar. So if you want to try it that way, you have enough oil. I think you have enough oil to cook popcorn for the rest of your life. And then you can do that. All it takes is oil and water. Or if you go to the store and buy some Alka-Seltzer, you can just keep using your lamp over and over again. So that's really cool. Now, this particular lava lamp that we made, right, involved the chemistry, and the chemistry was the release of carbon dioxide. Okay, that's a gas, and it's that gas that makes those bubbles that go around. And the reason that we color the liquid is that it's the water that's going around, right? The water rises because the bubbles make it lighter, and then it comes back down. So that's what's happening here. So there's density involved, and then there's also chemistry involved. But the real ones, the real lava lamps, does anybody have a lava lamp in their house, by the way? No? So
I do.
you do? All right, that's cool. Really? All right, Alexis. Alexis got one. All right. They're very soothing. Okay, when you want to go to sleep, you can just put it on, and it's really nice and soothing. We didn't have a little light underneath like that guy had in the video, but if you have a little light, you can put it underneath, and it looks even cooler for the ones that you made. But I thought it would be nice to see how real lava lamps are made. So that's why I was looking for a video of this. Okay, so because it's pretty fascinating how they make the real lava lamps. So I wanted to show you a quick little video on that. Unless, does anybody have any questions about this? You can keep your lamps going during the video if you want. Are we good? Okay. Grace is good. I guess that's all that matters. All right, so let me share my screen again. So this is, yeah, well, I'm going to show you this one. I don't know if you've ever seen this National Geographic for kids and this woman, Camry Noel, that does this, but we'll watch this.
This is so trippy. I could stare at this lava lamp for hours. Wake up, Camry. What exactly is a lava lamp? Is this even lava? Lamp creates such mesmerizing floating blobs. To shed some light on this lamp, I brought on the help of an expert. There she is now.
Whoa, Ruby laughed far out.
Thanks. Are you my expert?
Yeah, I'm Asha J, a National Geographic explorer and a creative conservationist who knows her lava lamps. They're beautiful examples of how science blends with creativity. Now let's see your lamps. Hypnotic, aren't they?
Yeah. So, first question, am I actually looking at lava?
Nope. Lava is just a marketing name corporations give it. You're looking at two substances floating in harmony.
How exactly do they float in harmony?
To build a true lava lamp, your substances need to have different densities.
So one substance will sink to the bottom.
The other, and this is my favorite, immiscibility.
What's immiscibility?
It's a fancy science term meaning unmixable. The two substances in a lava lamp are typically water-based liquid and a waxy compound. They can never dissolve into each other. You can see it at home when you combine oil and vinegar. They never truly blend into each other.
Yet they taste great on a sandwich. All right, I see how two immiscible substances form the blobs in the lamp. But how do they rise up and down?
That comes from the power of your lamp's magic light bulb.
Magic light bulb?
Okay, it's a normal light bulb, but the heat from the bulb brings the magic. The heat causes the blobs of wax to rise. As they get further away from the bulb, they cool. Then they fall back down to the bulb, and the cycle begins all over again.
Why does the heat cause them to rise?
For that, we'd have to view the blobs on a molecular level. And there's no way we could possibly...
We could use my molecular shrink ray.
Yeah, we could do that. Honey, let's shrink us kids.
These must be the molecules of the lava lamp's blobs.
As the blob heats up, the molecules spread apart, lowering its density.
And a less dense blob will float towards the top.
Exactly. Now watch. See how the blob cools off? The molecules pack closer together? It's making the blob more dense.
It's amazing to look at a lava lamp from inside its own molecules.
Yes. Can we go home now? Camry. Camry. Camry!
Okay. But anyway, there was a couple of things on that they brought up one new thing. So remember we talked about coalescence, right? And they talked about something called immiscibility. and so immiscibility is nice that they brought that up, which is just the fact that two things will not combine, will not mix. So oil and water don't like each other, okay? Like if you put alcohol and water together, they're miscible, so they will mix up and they'll be diluted. So that's the process of immiscibility. So we have to have two immiscible fluids to make a lava lamp. And in their case, in the real lava lamp case, it's a water-based material and a wax, okay? So same thing as we have, which is an oil and a water, okay? So that's what immiscibility is. Any questions about how that works? The other thing is heat, right? So they did do an explanation, although I don't like the shrinking thing. Although I don't know if you've ever seen the Magic School Bus where she shrinks and then goes inside the body. That's a cool one. But anyway, I watched a lot of Magic School Bus with my daughter when we were growing up. And I have all the books. The books are great. So I'm getting sidetracked. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So when you talk about density. One of the other things about density, we know that the oil is less dense than water, but just like if you put something in the fridge and it comes out and it looks like it's just a lot thicker, well, it also is a lot more dense because the temperature has gone down. And so that's what happens with the oil is when you heat it up, it becomes less dense than the fluid that it's in the lava lamp, and then when it cools, it comes down. And so there's actually a very magic formula for the real lava lamps. You have to balance off those densities very closely so that you can get this circulating flow. So we have a couple more minutes here. And one thing I always like to show kids is how we take things for granted. Like a lava lamp, it's like, oh, I have a lava lamp, it's on my desk. And you want to ask yourself, how did they make that thing? And so I found a really cool video that shows actually how they make the lava lamp from beginning to end. And it's not too long. So I wanted to show you that also because I think it shows you, it's pretty cool. So is that all right? Can we
Lava lamps might be the most cult item of lighting in the world. Since their invention in 1963, millions of lamps have been sold across the globe. And while their popularity has gone through ups and downs, their instantly recognizable style isn't going anywhere. But what actually goes into creating these iconic lamps?
So what I like about this video is it actually shows you how the glass is made too, and the whole thing is put together. So pay attention to that.
This simple yet hypnotic lamp came from pretty humble origins. Inventor Edward Craven Walker came up with the idea after spotting a handmade egg timer that used heated wax in a cocktail shaker. And after seeing this,
that's also an interesting point, right? Inventions occur a lot of times when you see one thing and then you say, hey, I can take that basic idea and turn it into something else. And that's really what we do in engineering a lot. So that's another important point here.
And months of testing his ideas and adapting this concept into a colourful lamp, Walker came up with his final design, as it was called at the time, the Astro Lamp. The idea was patented, and Walker started the company now known as Mathmos. Mathmos has now been creating lamps for over 50 years, and while it's introduced new designs, the original remains its top seller. So, how is it actually made? The process starts with custom glass bottles. Glass is blown into the shape required for each lamp. Molten blobs of glass are dropped into a...
So that blob that's falling, that's actually glass that's been really hot. It's like probably 1200 C, and it's a liquid, and it falls into a mold, and they blow it out to make this bottle. So that's
a mold. A machine blows air into the top of the bottle to shape it.
See how hot it is?
Shaped bottles are then released and cooled. While this is all done mechanically, everything is checked over by hand. The bottles are inspected, and any that don't make the cut are discarded. Quality control is crucial, as each bottle needs to fit perfectly into its housing, and the glass...
I think this is cool. That's a test to make sure it doesn't break too easily. So they have a little hammer that they drop on it, and it has to pass the drop test.
Glass needs to withstand constant heating and cooling. The next part of the process is metal spinning, a process that takes a thin sheet of steel and bends it around a spinning tool to create the right shape. Each base and cap is hand spun, and then the resulting pieces are polished. Once these two components are finished, the lamp is ready to be filled. The liquid is added along with a metal spring that helps distribute the heat. The exact formula of the fluid is a well-guarded secret, but there's one key to it: density. There are two main components in a lava lamp: a coloured wax and the coloured solution that it sits in. As the lamp heats up, the density of the wax changes and it begins to float in the liquid. When it hits the top, it cools and falls back down. Getting the density of these two ingredients just right, though, is where the secret knowledge comes in.
It wasn't a room much bigger than this that was split in half. Teaspoon, chemical, bit of chemistry set, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, does it work? On the other side was actually a little bit of spinning to make the spinning. And it sort of evolved from there, really. Our unique production side is the bottle filling. There are only a few people here on site that actually know the ingredients, and there are loads of people in this company that are not allowed to know how that product is made.
Once the two liquids are mixed, the bottle is submerged in hot water. This water bath cleanly separates out the liquids and stops any wax that would be stuck to the side of the bottle.
So again, see, this is where you add heat, and the wax will then, it's hot enough to melt the wax, and then the wax comes down to the bottom and then redensifies. Okay, so that's how they clean up the bottles. It's a pretty cool idea.
Lids are glued on and the bottles are ready to go. Mathmos has sold millions of its lamps over the years. The design is so true to the original that you could still buy the spare parts for a lamp made in 1965. And at its peak popularity in the 90s, it was selling over 800,000 lamps a year.
I think it represents the 60s, the 1960s, when the world was changing. The iconic brand, for me, relates to the fact that it's still manufactured here in Britain. It's still manufactured in the same process. It's still built in the same place. But more importantly, it's still part of the original design, which makes it such an icon.
What that shows you is there's a lot of things about production there, but hopefully I really like the glass blowing process, and we don't see too many glass blowers these days. If you ever get a chance to go to one of these fairs where somebody is blowing glass, it's really cool because you can see how the glass turns into a liquid and how it has a high enough thickness that they can actually, blow bubbles with it. It's like blowing bubbles with the material that you usually think of as a solid. So anyway, different concepts there, okay? But it also showed you how manufacturing is done. And so next time you look at a lava lamp, you can see, the two metal pieces that it fits in and that little light bulb that's underneath. I don't know what they use anymore because used to be the old style lights that gave off a lot more heat. Now that we have more efficient light bulbs, I don't know if they cornered the market on the light bulbs that give off more heat for their lamps. But now we have these efficient light bulbs that don't, these incandescent bulbs that, not the incandescent. The incandescent is the one that they use, but the what do we call it? The new bulbs we have. Anyway, the new bulbs that don't. What?
LEDs?
Yeah, not LED. LEDs are higher end, but the ones with the little curly Q ones there. Anyway. Okay, well, that's all that I had for you today. Any questions? Anybody still working? No? You can keep it going. So remember, if you want to keep it going, you can use it for life by just getting Alka-Seltzer. Or if you want to make another one, you can make a different colored one, and you can do that too. You can also change the dynamics, how it works, by changing the ratio of the oil to water, right? So you can experiment with, what happens if I have half water and half oil, okay? And what do you think would happen if you had half water and half oil? If you put enough Alka-Seltzer in, you're going to get what Grace got, right? Which is a lot of like real fuzziness and a lot of bubbles in there. And it's going to be probably a little bit foamy, right? So you're not going to get the same kind of relaxation that you got with the way that we did it. So hopefully this helps you to relax a little bit while you're studying next term. Okay, next year, I guess it is now summer, right? Yeah, next year. Belong to your friends, and show your friends how to make it. So one of the things about science that's great is when you find something simple like this, if you have nothing to do in the summer, right, and you go, hey, what am I going to do today? It's really easy to just grab this stuff and show your friends how to do it, and they'll say, hey man, you're pretty cool, you know how to make a lava lamp, right? And it's really inexpensive. Like I said, everything comes from the dollar store, so you can, for a couple of bucks, you can get everything you need, even less actually. And do it with your friends. Okay, I think we don't play. We used to have, when I was a kid, we had chemistry sets and all that other stuff, and we used to do that. But you can do this chemistry by yourself. So thanks a lot for coming on a Saturday. We really appreciate it. And I want to thank all the mentors that were here also to help. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I would like to see all of you in engineering. Okay, so just sign up. Engineering is a great field. Okay, no matter what you're interested in. And Grace, okay, history is great too. All right, that's okay too. But we have an engineering camp, and I don't know if you people know about STEM Academy, but we also have a lot of camps, a lot of middle school camps in STEM Academy. Actually, anyway, we have an engineering camp, which I think is full, but right now, there's a lot of camps in the summer, so come and join us. It's fun.
Yeah, I'll just finish up by saying thank you so much, Dr. Rochefort. I really enjoyed that. I made a foamy one, but I'll probably try again after we're done to make one that's a little more relaxing. Also, thank you to the students you brought in, Nissa, Carla, and Madeline. It was really great that you were here. So thank you. And then also thank you to all of our students and then students who will be watching this asynchronously. Thank you for watching. And we hope to see you at another session today or some other time for a different event.